Dive 893 on HMS M2. The M2 was one of the Royal Navy's experimental submarines during the interwar years, and the M2 specifically had the ability to surface and launch a small seaplane. This was a dive in July 2026 and was part of Clidive's weekend trip to Portland. Starting off on the seabed, the shot was near the conning tower, so we're making our way forward here, passing a velvet swimming crab, a leopard-spotted goby, and a common lobster there. Here we have a hatch of some description. And here is a section where the outer hull has started to rot away, and you can see inside into the double hull. There is a small bib moving around in there as I had a look inside with my camera. An edible crab made itself little mounds there, and then a whole lot of shells here. Potential evidence of an octopus, but we couldn't see one. Another potential hatch there, not quite sure what that is, but had lots of dead man's fingers growing on it. And we continue forward. Here is a section where the submarine is slightly off the seabed, and you can see underneath it where these bib are swimming around, as well as lots of discarded shells. Passing the forward hydroplane here. And now we get to the front of the submarine, and these are the torpedo tubes. We're on the port side of the submarine here, so on the right of shot was one of the torpedo tubes. As we pan to the left, we get to the very bow of the submarine, which we swam round. And in a second you'll see, panning up to see the entire height of that submarine. And starting to make our way down the starboard side now. Again, having a look into the torpedo launching area. Here on the starboard side you can see the mechanism much better. Here is what is potentially an anchor. I'm not quite sure exactly what this was, hanging off the sides. And here we have the starboard side foreplane. The viz at the bottom was not great. The whole dive, it was a bit snotty like this in the water, but as we make our way up until the top of the submarine, visibility does improve somewhat. Here we have a school of bib as we swim towards the rear of the submarine. A couple mechanisms, valves and hatches there on the top. And here you can see the unique feature of the submarine, as this is the launch rails for the seaplane, and that sort of anchor looking thing there in the centre of shot is the launching coupling mechanism. More of that launching mechanism as we make our way along. So this is all fairly unique to see. Submarines don't normally have anything like this, as it was an experimental submarine after all. Passing through more school of bib here. And a close-up of some of the mechanisms there. And as I pan to the right, I just spotted a fairly large conger eel here. So I've stuck the camera down to have a better shot. That one wasn't very scared at all. More of the mechanism, and then we get into the entrance of the small seaplane hangar. Given the visibility wasn't going to go in there on this dive. As we ascended above that, here is the base of the crane that would be used to recover the seaplane once it had landed again. The sort of indents down the bottom was where it would initially have rotated. Here's the top of the crane here. And looking back at it now, that's the recovery crane, and then as we pan to the right we get the remains of the conning tower sticking up, which is also the shallowest part of the wreck. You can see my two buddies there just on top of it. a Tompot Blenny there, and then we finished off the dive here where we ascended back up on the shot line, which was just off the wreck nearby.